Jesse, does it make sense to do the oath before, or should we just go and? Okay. Start with a roll call.
Burns.
Here.
Mickelson.
Here.
Powell.
Here.
Miller.
Yes.
Schreip.
Here. Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And item 4, we'll have the oath of office for Jeremy.
All right. Mr. Powell, if you wouldn't mind repeating after me. I, Jeremy Powell,
I, Jeremy Powell,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
that I will support the Constitution of the United States,
the Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
the Constitution of the State of Minnesota,
and that I will faithfully discharge
and I will faithfully discharge
the duties of the Office of Park and Recreation Board
the duties of the Office of Park and Recreation Board
of the City of Brainerd, Minnesota,
of the City of Brainerd, Minnesota,
to the best of my judgment and ability,
and to the best of my judgment and ability,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Congrats.
Welcome officially. Item 5, we're looking for an approval of the agenda or any agenda changes.
I will move to approve the agenda.
Second.
Any discussion on the agenda? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Agenda is approved. Item 6 is our consent calendar. Notice to the public, all matters listed are considered routine by the board and will all be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless good cause is shown prior to the time the board votes on the motion via roll call. This is a doozy. Are there any thoughts, comments on anything that we want to pull out? Cool. We'll be looking for a motion.
I will make a motion to approve the consent calendar.
Second.
Any further discussion? Hearing none, please call the roll.
Burns.
Yes.
Mickelson.
Yes.
Powell.
Yes.
Miller.
Yes.
Schreip.
Yes. Sorry, I should have looked over before I said that. Horrible timing by me. All right, we'll have item 7, the public forum. Time allocated for citizens to bring matters not on the agenda to the attention of the board. Time limits may be imposed. We'll open the public forum at 4:02. Since we don't have a WebEx, there's no one there and there's no one here, so we will also close the public forum at 4:03 p.m. That will move to item 8A, donation of the Lum Park Arch roof replacement by Advantage Home Pros. Jesse.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So at the direction of the Park Board, we followed up with Mayor Badeau as well as the Advantage Home Pros regarding their proposal to donate the labor, equipment, and materials necessary to replace the roof on top of the Lum Park Arch, kind of at the entrance of the park. They have agreed to do so and their willingness to donate that work for the city. We did include the four proposals from the two vendors, 371 Construction and High Tech Construction, for reference. We did have $6,000 approved in the capital budget for the work. Staff is requesting authorization from the Park Board to go ahead and accept the donation from Advantage Home Pros to complete that Lum Park Arch roof replacement.
Very nice of them. Any questions for Jesse?
I have a motion if you're ready.
I have one question, Jesse. Would they be doing, and I appreciate any donation they're making, would it be asphalt or the shakes?
My understanding is the cedar shakes. They've talked with their supplier that they'll donate that
That's
material.
super nice.
Wow.
Yeah. No other questions if you have a motion?
I would make a motion to approve accepting the donation to replace the roof at Lum Park for the arch.
And I will second.
Okay, I thought of one item. Question for the mayor. He's going to love it. Since we had asked the council for capital money for this item, and we're now not going to spend it for a good reason, how would you suggest we handle the money in the capital budget? Repurpose it, give it, I think giving it back is not usually a good thing.
I mean, it's in your budget for the year. It has been allocated to you. I mean, yes, it was earmarked for this specific purpose, but you have found a way to pay for that through other means. And I think that that's fair game then. Easiest way would be keep it in Lum Park. But in terms of what your budget is, you guys budgeted that, you were offered that from the city. You can do with it as you please after that. So it'd be different if you said, oh, we can't afford to do these, therefore we're not doing them, and then we're going to use the money on something else. But because you found a way to pay for it, I think it's still fair game. The money has already been allocated to the park department, so.
Cool. Thank you. Just want to make sure we're handling that well.
Yeah, I think that one, at least in my eyes, would be a no-brainer. Other people may argue otherwise, but to me, that's a no-brainer.
Perfect. All right. Any other discussion on this item? Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We're going to get a roof. Thank you again to Advantage Home Pros.
Yeah, that's nice.
With that, we'll move to item 9A, 2026 tree plantings proposal. Jesse.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So we put together a proposal for the park board to consider for our annual tree plantings budget. We had $25,000 included in this year's budget for tree plantings. So staff worked with James Kronvik, our community development director, on putting together a plan. This year's plan, we're proposing to include a stretch of Norway pines along Mill Avenue at Memorial Park. Kind of reflecting the similar kind of line of Norway pines that are north of that entranceway on Mill to the parking lot. A little bit different spacing right now, just because they are a little bit more of a costlier tree. We can't afford the 25-foot spacing. The other thing that we've received comments over the course of time has been kind of the appearance of the stormwater features, we've had requests for fencing and stuff like that, and obviously that's a concern from a maintenance access standpoint as well. So we found kind of an alternative solution that we felt was kind of aesthetically pleasing for the area, that kind of blends and provides also kind of a natural screening for those stormwater features there. So we're proposing to include a handful of silver flame grass plantings kind of around those stormwater features, really where kind of, I want to say, a barrier between where people are likely to frequent, kind of that strip between the ponds and the hockey rinks. We're probably not as worried. We want to keep those open for maintenance access as well. We did include a picture of the silver flame grass just for quick reference as well. Based on our estimate right now, we're estimating just under the $25,000. If we do get some advantageous pricing, especially on like the grass plantings, we would just recommend continuing to expand the Norway pine plantings to expend the full $25,000 further south than what we have indicated in the plan, at least down to the rest of that block.
Questions for Jesse?
When it comes to the skate park that's planned there, where are we going to be at with that in relation to trees? Are we going to plant a tree and have to take it out?
We shouldn't have to. Where they're planned is really mostly in the road right of way. So we shouldn't be putting any real infrastructure in that area anyways. So that's where we're trying to limit it. As of right now, what's indicated in this layout, we are actually just a little bit north of, stopping a little bit north of where that skate park was planned in the south third of that parking lot.
Yeah, just to follow up with that, my only concern would just be if there was ever a need for a curb cut, because obviously the one coming off of O, I believe it's O, or is it Q? Q. It is Q. Will potentially be going away with the skate park, so just keeping in mind that if there ever was a need for a curb cut coming off of Mill Avenue, that we just have spacing there to do it. Otherwise, I like it.
I had a similar question. If we make that a dirt parking lot in 3 to 5 years as that pavement degrades, the trees, given that they're in the street right of way, I'm assuming that wouldn't be an issue for ripping out the pavement.
It shouldn't. And I'll just note, I'd have to double check, but I'm relatively sure that the parking lot reclamation is in this year's budget. But I may be mistaken. I thought it was, though. I'll double check, but yes, this is intended not to be in conflict with any of those upcoming projects.
Awesome. Cool. I'll check on that too. I forget now. And then other question, what's kind of the proportion of the expense of the grass to the trees?
If I recall, I believe I was estimating about $1,500 per tree. So times 9, and give you an idea, you're eating up about half the budget just in the 9 Norway pines. The other half was roughly in the grasses.
Okay.
I think the grass is actually a very good solution to that problem, so appreciate that. And I think I do share the concern of just the one entry and exit as it sits. I mean, that is a high volume, like traffic. There's a lot of cars that move in and out of that parking lot. I mean, we'll change it to dirt, sure, but when we change it to dirt, there's going to be a lot less parking guidance for people, and so it's going to turn into a bit of a mess with only one exit entrance. Just kind of my take on that if we block off the other side. So if we're just coming off Mill at the top and that's the only way in, might not be really advantageous. I mean, we'll probably have to find another way in, right? I mean,
Yeah, I mean, ideally, people can make a horseshoe that goes through, but you are correct. We'll have to put some kind of middle indicator for people, because otherwise people are not going to park down that middle strip correctly. Because, people are wonderful with parking. But I don't think it's something that needs to, the curb cut doesn't need to happen immediately, because that's the beauty of having a dirt parking lot as well, is that, it's dirt. We don't have to restripe it, we don't have to do a lot of things with it, but just making sure, I just don't want to put a tree in, have it grow for 5 years, tear it right back out. I just want to make sure that we're just, if we've got an idea of what that could potentially look like, that we've got a spot set up for it, so we're not, again, at $1,500, it's not the end of the world, but it's $1,500 plus 5 years of growth.
Yeah.
That's a good tree.
and I do think we probably will need it. I mean, kind of honest, like just as the parking lot sits now, what's occupied on softball evenings now, and then any sort of I mean, I'm going to assume a lot of the time the skateboarders are going to come not in a vehicle, but there's still going to be some volume of folks utilizing the parking lot on top of what we have for softball and evenings as well. So again, I think the traffic in that parking lot could get a little chaotic. I understand it's wide, but still, even leaving on a softball evening can be challenging. And so if we have only one way to get out and in, probably not going to be very good.
Jesse.
I just wanted a quick highlight. Mill Avenue is the county highway, so we would have to coordinate with them to get an additional curb cut allowance. There's no guarantee of that. We would coordinate with them to request that curb cut, and if we do so, the 50-foot spacing in between Norway pines would allow for a full access, a two-way access.
Oh,
so we'd be able to accommodate that in between the trees that are proposed here.
Awesome. Thank you, Jesse. This is a great plan. We're looking for a motion on the trees and grasses.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2026 tree plantings proposal.
Second?
Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. We have a tree plan. 9B, the Hitchwain Park sign.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So then another follow-up item regarding the Hitchwain Park sign. It was roughly 18 inches by 18 inches before it was removed as part of the 7th and Tamarack reconstruction project. Looking for direction from the park board if a sign is to be replaced. What type of sign are you looking for? Park standards call it the 4x8 sign, 4 foot by 8 foot sign with the concrete slab and wood posts. So you got an idea of the cost for that versus a replacing of in-kind, the 18-inch by 18-inch sign on a post mount. I would note that if you're going to go around the option 1 because of the size, we would recommend that being installed on the south side where we have a little bit more room. The north side, it's pretty tight against the curb, and then it slopes off pretty quickly. I don't think we could fit that larger sign in there in the clear area where we need to keep it clear. So I would recommend that go on the south side if you wanted to go with option 1. But looking for direction from the park board, how you'd like to proceed with the sign.
Questions or thoughts?
I like the previous sign. I don't know if this is necessarily a place for a 4-foot by 8-foot sign, but maybe I'm in the minority there.
It'd be the most expensive amenity in this park.
Yeah, exactly.
Other thoughts, comments?
The
We-
main use of this park is just sledding hills typically, right? You know,
I think the college was using it for some amount of ecology club work and things like that as well. But yeah, apart from that, yeah, it's just a sledding hill, really. But
I do have an idea to maybe bridge the two options. Would be to have one sign Hitchwain Park and the second one the Big Sev Sliding Hill, to highlight that it's there in the winter and that it's not just a park, but like that's mostly why people go there. So let's maybe highlight that. Jesse.
I just wanted to make sure to note that there is a, I don't know, maybe about 3-foot by 3-foot sign, a wooden sign, as you kind of walk in there about 20 feet or so next to what would be the east sledding hill on the south side. There is a Big Sev sign there.
On the sled garage. On the sled garage.
oh, I didn't know that.
You're welcome.
Well, and I'm the larger one. I'm definitely knowing. I know JD and I spoke briefly that the other parks do, and yeah, it's not like Bain Park and all the significant things to me. It's a big personal thing. It's my backyard. And the little boy, Wayne, that was part of the naming, he was coming to my home when he was hit and killed by a tar packer. It was, one of those tremendous things. And the house that we live in, there's a gentleman, Bud Schmid, who was a teacher, and he was in charge of like a lot of the summer stuff and all that. And they got together to get the piece of land, at that sort of odd little piece of land on 8th Street, like a vine continued over. And I know there's been a sign, and I don't know if there's a city saying no motorized vehicles, because sometimes with the snowmobilers and that they shouldn't be in there with the kids and stuff. And but I just feel strongly that a very nice sign to be there. And in the Hitch side of it, he was like the property 3 of the 1950s. He built most of the homes around there, and I don't know, but I wouldn't, knowing the amount of real estate he was in, he may have gifted some of that to the city. I don't know that, but everything around there was built by him. So unfortunately, he died very young in his own home because he chose not to go to the hospital. He was a Christian Scientist, but so it was a loss. He was quite a powerhouse in the real estate stuff, but I just think it deserves the option 1. I really think and it's funny with the economy bouncing around. I'm sure people don't have the extra $100 to take their kids to the water parks and things on a Saturday, and there's a lot of kids out there having a great time. I mean, I look out our backyard, and it's fun to see. I had a lot of fun there as a kid, and it's good to see kids just exercising and running up and down those hills and having fun. So. I would just have a strong feeling that I really think that the nice one should be there.
Sure. JD?
There is a 18 by 18 sign on the north side that no matter which direction we go, I think that should be replaced. That one's in a little bit of rough shape, kind of scratched up, bent up. But what about the in-between version, just because of space, giving the park priority like other parks, but also being mindful to space. JC's Park on the north side has a smaller 2-post wooden sign, but it's probably 2 foot tall by like 3 foot wide. Would that be an option?
I believe that's our old signage. The new sign standards have been updated since that sign. So when that gets replaced, it will be replaced with the larger sign.
Well, can I make a motion?
Yes.
I would make the motion that we go with number one, the 4x8. And knowing that we have this gift of additional money that the mayor explained we can use on other things, I don't think money is issue not to, and I think it would be a beautiful addition. And there's probably maybe some people pulling out a speedway and they don't know that that's City Park back in there, so I make a motion to install the 4x8.
A second for that motion.
I'll second it.
I do have a question for you. I think Jesse was saying the sign would go at 7th and Vine and not 7th and Tamarack. So your point about coming out of the Speedway, I don't think folks would see that big sign. Is that
Yeah,
Did I
they'd come out
correctly-
of Speedway right there and see it. So it would go right down there, because Speedway's right here.
Oh, I got turned around. Never mind. Okay. Yeah, Jesse, I think I
Just a quick clarification to member JD's comment about the additional 18 by 18 on the north side, if that can be clarified for staff.
Yeah, I think that one on the north side should be replaced too, just because of time and weathered.
Would you be open to that as the original?
Sure, that could be additional. I think that's an excellent idea.
All right, so we've got a motion to do a 4x8 sign, the south entrance, and replace the 18 by 18 sign on the north side. Any other discussion on this? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign.
Aye.
Got a sign. 9C, approval of the Aliver Foundation AED donation. Jesse.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So we had the Aliver Foundation reach out asking to donate an AED device over at Bain Park. We've included the agreement between us and the foundation, the city and the foundation, that kind of lays out responsibilities. We would have that device installed adjacent to or on one of the facilities in the park. So at this time, staff is looking for direction from the park board if you want to approve the donation from the foundation for that AED to be installed at Bain Park, understanding we would be taking on the liability of that device after its installation.
Thank you. Any thoughts, questions for Jesse?
As far as, do this foundation maintain it and do the checks that they don't, so that would be up to the city to have someone because I know it's minor. I know we have in our church, and I'm a retired nurse, and one of the other nurses does whatever. I don't think it's real detailed. All I know is as a Air Force flight nurse and doing that those things are phenomenal at what they can do. And it could be a 10-year-old kid, that boom, put it on and their life is saved. So as far as the intricacies of, the proper whatever, the batteries checked and things like that, I think there's definitely got to be a system with that. I don't know how that would go, but boy, it sounds like another excellent gift to our city.
Yep. Their responsibility is the installation, and that's it.
Okay.
They're purchasing it. After that, it is entirely the city's ownership and maintenance. Our recreation specialist, she
Okay.
does go through and monthly
go-
check the ADs
okay.
anyways. So,
Do we have AD at other parks?
yes, I know for sure one at Gregory.
Okay.
I think Memorial might have one as well.
No.
And if I recall,
Well,
the one at
cool.
Gregory was donated as
No,
well.
they're a phenomenal device, and if somebody wants to give it to, I don't see why we wouldn't say, yeah, we'll take it.
I have a motion when you're ready.
Cool. So, and Jesse, the maintenance is not prohibitive today. It's easy for us to keep up with.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to check those.
Awesome. Cool. Yeah, go for it.
I make a motion to approve the donation and install it at Bain Park.
Second.
Any further discussion on the motion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. That is approved. 9D, 2026 ADA improvements. Jesse.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So looking to prepare a proposal for the annual ADA improvements in the parks. We had $25,000 allocated in 2026 dollars, as well as the remaining roughly $20,000 from 2025. It was discussed in the October meeting to have a quote for ADA compliant fixtures and seating in the Lum Park shower building. I did want to bring it to the Park Board's attention in the 30-year capital plan. It is planned to have the shower building rehabbed and remodeled in similar to the scope of work at Kiwanis. That would include replacement of fixtures. We can definitely do the replacement now. I wouldn't recommend it until next year when that work is going to get done anyways as part of that budget. We did include a couple proposals or recommendations for the Park Board to consider other than the Lum Park shower building. Memorial Park, Lum Park, as well as Lions Buffalo Hills Park. Based on what we have in the allocated budget, we're recommending Lum Park and Lions Buffalo Hills Park, not only because they both fit within the estimated budget, but also that I don't know if you've heard before, I do like to try and propose ones that have coupled in with recent capital projects as well to kind of make the project whole. So that's where staff comes up with this recommendation, but looking for direction from the Park Board, how you'd like to proceed.
Thoughts on?
Yeah, I like getting the twofer. And yeah, thank you for pointing that out with the Lum Park building, Jesse. That's great. So, I mean, with that in future planning, I mean, yeah, there's some amount of savings, but even we'll still have some leftover money for the upgrades in the shower building anyway next year. So there'll be some leftover funds. If we have 45,000, we're going to spend 33.5. So, get the 2-for-1 and make two changes at two parks and save the shower building upgrades for next year.
Any other thoughts, comments? I have a couple.
Let it rip.
Today.
Yeah.
Jesse, the Buffalo Hills, the red line says the existing sidewalk is 4 feet, but then there's a green addition. What's the width that sidewalk would be from the parking lot to the pavilion?
We have it shown as maybe roughly 8 foot, but it's entirely up to the Park Board if, what you would recommend. I would recommend an additional 4-foot strip behind the 4 foot. Then when those concrete strips get narrow, they can potentially cause long-term issues, cracking and stuff like that. So we would recommend a full 4-foot strip added on to the existing 4 foot. Behind that we'll take direction from the Park Board what you'd like to see.
That part makes sense. I think I would like to see only 4 feet from the parking lot to the pavilion.
I will add one more note. We did include, so like Lum Park, shown roughly, and the estimate was included as a 6 foot. The reason for that is a lot of our equipment is 6 feet for snow clearing. So it would prevent us from kind of chewing up the turf grass adjacent to the sidewalk by having a 6 foot wide minimum.
Can't fit a car in 6 feet, can you? Somebody's gonna back a minivan up to the pavilion. I just see it coming. It's just such a nice straight line.
We got parking logs over there, don't we?
What would ever make you think that that could possibly be an outcome that would happen in our parks?
Yeah, and like a bollard then defeats the entire purpose of an accessible sidewalk. So I'm hesitant to say huck a bollard in the center. Although, like 3 feet on each side of a bollard, that's not unreasonable.
I think you have to have 4 feet for ADA. So 2 yellow posts on the edge.
Well, and I mean, we had a conversation with the Lions about what their preferred width was too, right? There was
8.
8? Yeah. So, I mean, that's too much, right? I mean,
Yeah,
but,
8 is too much.
But I'm just saying, like, I mean, if we're going to install it, right, at this park, maybe there's a medium there too. But yeah, 4 feet is 6 feet wide, but.
Jesse, is there an ADA? And I realize I'm making you design on the fly. A way to make it 6 feet because I like the compatibility with our equipment. I think that is reasonable. Let's work as efficiently as we can, but also have something that deters someone from just driving straight down.
You have to maintain a 4-foot clear space for the access route to maintain the ADA accessibility. 6 foot's pretty narrow. I don't think it's implied that it's accessible for vehicles. It is something that we could post a sign, no motorized vehicles. The only reason I caution that is we don't have that same sign. Elsewhere in other sidewalks, we have sidewalks in a lot of parks, but we definitely can do deterrence. Depends on what the park board would like to do.
Dave.
Yeah, the amount of work you guys have done to try and deter people from driving in the parks, I think you're on the right track of, we should be thinking about that when we make these improvements, because these are the improvements that are gonna be there for the future. You know, you're not gonna tear up a sidewalk in 10 years. So, it saddens me that that's the case, that every time we talk about having a wider sidewalk, the first thing we gotta think about is that, not that people might, it is that people will drive down that sidewalk. We see it downtown even. We had a guy with a food truck parked on the sidewalk next to Bob and Fran's. Guys, it's not even remotely acceptable. And yet that's the reality that we live in, is that people, for whatever reason, have determined that sidewalks are for parking their vehicles. And sadly, we're talking about ADA, which is about getting people access to stuff. And the problem with that is if we go too big, which would make it easier for people, then it makes it more attractive for people that are going to abuse that and put their vehicle on it. We know that they will. We've been watching it happen for a decade here. So it's sad, and I wish we could go out there and really start cracking down on it, but it's almost impossible. It's every single week that somebody sends me a photo of someone in our city elected to drive their vehicle on our sidewalks. So I just think we need to be proactive in the way that we design things, sadly, moving forward.
Otherwise, I love these ideas, and thank you for identifying that the bathrooms are coming up next year. So, high level, I'm super on board. I'm hesitant to, as Dave said, make something that we then have to enforce. But, is anyone interested in a motion?
Look, you guys you're not on board with the walkway here, so my motion wouldn't be very good.
I'm on board with the walkway at a certain width, but I won't die on the hill.
I mean, let's just make it 8 and split it in half. I mean, with a bollard. I mean, we'll give the Lions Club what they want, and we split it up into 2 4 feet. I mean, I don't know how much more money that's going to be. I mean, I imagine probably significantly more, but maybe we chew up the remainder and just get the actual walkway that the Lions Club wanted for ADA, since this is going to be our ADA park, right? So, I think that's probably the compromise to stop the vehicles and work with our ADA partners directly.
would just
Again,
have to
yeah,
be-
on a
it would have
cost,
to
on a
be-
cost, if you have any insight on cost estimate changes or things like that.
It's a pretty
significant.
minimal cost.
Minimal.
I think we would have to go a little bit wider than 8 to accommodate for the bollard and still keep the full 4-foot clear. But we could narrow it back out down to the 8 as we move forward.
Yeah, yeah. Doink. Yeah, and I was thinking about this too. I don't know. I mean, obviously, when we tore it up, like we had the mounds and things like that kind of framed the parking lot a little bit better. So it's not people just like, oh, yeah, I can just move into this, But we had the hills and everything kind of when it was all leveled out. And so I was saying, well, what, but yeah, to your point, even if it's just like an opening where people are like, here, clearly park this way and don't drive up, people will still do it. So I think this is the best compromise. Just make it 8, split it in half, and kind of everybody wins in this particular instance.
Yeah, love that.
So I'll make a motion for that then. If we're looking, if we got smiles on this one, I'll make a motion to build a walkway between the west and east parking lots in Memorial Field between softball fields 1 and 2, and then build a walkway from the ADA stalls to the pavilion, increasing from the original design to 8 feet, adding some amount of give to place a bollard to deter parking or driving on said sidewalk.
Second.
The mayor has comment here. Again.
I have more of a, again, just to continue the conversation, I think it's really sad that we have to have these conversations, and we do, but that's the reality of the situation. But I do want to say that this will be our first park that has both a bollard and berms. So full support from the mayor on this end.
Burns, bollards in Brainerd.
Just renamed it too.
The mayor will be moving into that park now.
But now, Andrew, okay, we're ready for you. My heart can take it.
I think I like the Lum Trail a little bit more than the Memorial one. It's because that's hooking up. Like we did all the improvements last year, and that's kind of rounding it out a little bit. Versus outside of the Pumpkin Festival, I'm not sure who's going. Like, do a lot of softball folks park in that east lot and then walk?
They park in both.
Well, I think this kind of future-proofs the ripping up of the parking lot as well. So if we do have some amount of overflow, and there is play on Field 3 on a consistent basis in most nights. So if you are on Field 3, you're going to want to play. You're going to want to park in that lot, and then if you have your next game at Field 1 or 2, you'll move down there. So that parking lot does get use. Okay. And so I think there is a bit of an ease there of access between parking lots, and makes it so that if we do run into that dirt parking lot problem in the future after we rip it up, it kind of future proofs it where we have another parking lot that doesn't get a ton of use. Oh, we got a head shake over there.
And it does get a little damp at times, and it's a little holy and not very level, so it would be very hard for someone to get a wheelchair through there.
Yeah, currently it's pretty miserable to traverse. Yep.
All right, so I changed my statement. I didn't realize that you were wanting to do the Memorial one. I don't like the Memorial one. I think the Memorial one is a better option once you figure out what that dirt parking lot looks like. Then you create the same thing you're doing at Buffalo Hills, where you have your ADA stalls, and you would put those right next to where people are. I don't like this path. We've fought against that path in the past, because what's going to happen is we're going to end up taking those trees out. And as soon as those trees go, now all of a sudden we're looking at netting options. Netting options are another $50,000 that only last 15 years. It's just, it's a cost that is not indicative to us actually doing that. And it's why the trees continue to be there. So the path isn't the end of the world to me, but if the solution is just to get ADA, I would say why not put ADA stalls next to where people are going with some kind of pathway into where they're going, as opposed to worrying about whether or not they have to come from the other side.
I do agree with the mayor that I don't like the removal of the trees.
Yeah, I mean, is that in the plan? No. Oh,
Almost have to be,
It will be.
because they're pretty much straight down the center.
Or we have a ziggy-zaggy path?
We can work to avoid them. I can't guarantee long-term what those trees look like, but to the mayor's point, there's long-term implications as well.
The netting is the biggest issue. We've talked about that.
Yeah,
It's
for sure.
It's so cost prohibitive to doing. And 50,000 at today's cost for 15 years is such a burden to continue to allow people to play softball. You know, and when we have a natural barrier there, that I've continued to say that about those trees is that's why they're there, is to help add protection from people getting hit by balls. And the solution is very expensive. So that's my biggest deterrent and reason I've spoke against that path in the past is that it always ends up with we're going to end up losing those trees.
So the solution is to rip up the parking lot, make it dirt, and then add, and I'm sounding sarcastic when I say this. So the solution to the ADA problem here is to rip it up, make it dirt, and then in the future add concrete or sidewalks inside of the dirt parking lot, is what you're saying.
So my statement to us as a city who is building dirt parking lots is that we should be in the building of those dirt parking lots planning to have those ADA stalls. That should just be a part of that.
Yeah, because again, my thought with the dirt parking lot is that there has to be access from there to there.
From there to the far side.
If it's just a dirt parking lot on this side, right? So that's what I'm saying. So if we're going to install cement or sidewalks and, you know, places for folks to drop off that need ADA access inside of the dirt parking lot, then yeah, we can skip this.
Yeah, that's, in my estimation as a city, would be if we are going to dirt parking lots, which I fully support 100%, I think that is the correct move for you guys to make. However, you should be then planning that within those dirt parking lots, there are X amount of ADA stalls, and that, to me, solves this problem. Because the other parking lot is already paved, so it doesn't have that problem.
Well, it has the problem because you don't have access from the other parking lot, but you can park. So you have access to the fields, you have access to one field from the dirt parking lot, or at one set of fields, but then you don't have access to the other field
There
if you
should
play on
be
three.
88 parking spaces at all of our amenities, so which there are.
Yeah, but I'm saying that if you played on 1 and 2, you would have to then pack up and then move over to field 3 later in the evening. I understand it's a fringe case, but I'm just saying like the actual traversing between fields 1, 2, and 3 become a little bit more complicated.
We could pave every park,
I'm
pave every single inch of every park. We could do that.
not interested in that,
Could
but
do
this
that.
is a problem-solving thing that, you know, again, it's fringe case, but if we're going to make these installations, you know, and they're improvements, it's having somebody pack up and move to the other side of the park in their vehicle and not having access to the other side of the park is not accessibility. It's just a place for you to park.
Well, part of the problem too, you got to remember, is it's mobility issues as well, though. So it may be better for them to have access at the other side with ADA marked parking spaces on the other side as well. We have 3 amenities over there.
Yeah.
If you figured 4 spots per amenity, that's 12 ADA parking spaces that could be over there.
I agree.
I think that would.
I think that
would
lot's
sufficiently
great.
cover-
But they're just separated by an intraversable area. That's the main problem right now for accessibility. That's my only thing with this. And I don't know if there's actually a very easy solution here, because if you look at even, let's just say in a hypothetical situation, we're building a path around the backside, you know, again, we wouldn't, but like you build a path around the backside of that, then now we're running into the end of that field where you would potentially approach that is going to be a skate park. So there's no way around either of these 2 fields to get to field 3 with an ADA accessible path. The only good path is the one through. And I mean, for accessibility purposes. So, I mean, I understand the logistical problems, right? Trees and tree removal and those types of things, but this is the only actual ADA piece that makes sense.
Sure, I'll just say,
Yeah.
and ultimately, this is the problem that I have with ADA accessibility, is that you can make everything ADA accessible. You can do that. It is 100% possible. It's not cost prohibitive, and it's also creates further problems, i.e. the removal of trees. And I'll just continue to fight against it for a future cost analysis of the cost of playing softball becomes improhibitive because you believe that people cannot drive their vehicle over to there because they don't have access, but yet the problem is that they don't have access. Right? It's a mobility issue. So I understand the concept of it. I fight against every single approach that we have on a sidewalk in the city of Brainerd is $10,000, every single one. That's the problem with ADA, is that it has become so cost prohibitive because we continue to make it so stringent and believe that everything has to be always accessible, when we have to sometimes come to agreement that maybe it's cost prohibitive to do that.
I think where I'm at with Memorial is we know we have parking lot changes coming. We have the skate park coming. We have a bunch of soccer stuff happening there this year that's new. I'd like to maybe sort some of those out before we put a path in. And maybe we do put a path in there. But I think I'd want to get those sorted versus Lum, where we've got a lot of recent progress and this kind of puts a bow on it. That's kind of where I'm coming from. I think there's a need, as you've described it. I think the cost of potentially the trees is rough, but there is a need also. So I hear where you're coming from, but I think for where we're at today, Lum feels like the choice we're more ready for.
We do have a motion that we have to vote on that one, though.
That is true. Let's vote on that motion.
You seconded it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All in favor of the motion, say aye. Pose same sign.
Aye.
Aye.
That motion fails. Anyone else interested in the motion?
Jesse, we don't have a deadline that we have to spend this by, right? Like, we can do it in 2 chunks?
Yeah, it's entirely up to the board.
I would make a motion that we proceed with the Lions Buffalo Hills ADA pathway at the 8-foot plus with the bollard in the middle. And then we can reserve the rest of the funds for later this year.
And second that.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. That passes. Yeah, Jesse.
Mr. Chair, if we can get direction from the park board of when you would like to see this come back.
So to me, the memorial one seems partly tied to the safety of those trees. I think.
Maybe the memorial side, I think, is just one of those, like, we have to see what the summer traffic is going to look like with all of the activities going on. So let's just see how folks move through the park. Let's see what the parking lot looks like after it's dug up. I think those are the best conversations that we can really have on the memorial side. And then for the Lum Park side, I don't know. For that concept isn't necessarily, I don't know. Maybe we can just have just one more idea for the next meeting, maybe on top of the Lum Park idea. This spends the money pretty much perfect, but
What about JC's Park? We have handicap spots at JC's Park that are not paved in that dirt parking lot, kind of like David mentioned, and it'd be a quick little jaunt to connect to that new path. We could potentially see rough cost estimates for JC's as well, and paving those handicap stalls that were put in there.
Roughly about 5,000 to do the one at Lions Buffalo Hills. Oh, a little under 5,000.
Maybe we consider that at next month's meeting as well. There's a lot of tournaments held there with families that come to town.
Yeah, that's a good one. Dave?
Yeah, if we're going to be making dirt parking lots, we should be trying to include those anyways. That should just be a part of what we're looking at with the cost of those. But also, when you come back with the memorial one, just see if it is even possible for us to do it without removing the trees. But I've seen that plan many times, and every single time it has those trees being removed. So I've yet to see it come back with a way in which we figured that that's not going to happen. So
it sounds like what we're looking from Jesse is, I think you already have the estimate, Jesse, but the cost of doing the stalls at JC's, and then maybe a feasibility of saving the trees at Memorial for March. does that, I know you have like 2 hats. Is that okay with you have more than 2 hats, but is that okay with your time splits right now?
No, we have good direction.
Okay,
Thank you.
thanks. All right, let me scroll back up. That is it for new business. Moving on to staff reports.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I don't have much to add to what's in the packet. I just want to note a couple things. Memorial Park, it is not the parking lot that's on this year, it's the playground replacement that's on this year. And speaking of playgrounds, we did have a meeting with the Kiwanis Club. They're starting to kind of scope and plan their playground replacement in a couple years. So we met with them. Obviously, Lions is still in the process of their planning as well for their playground. So I had a little bit of a discussion about that. We do have a request for proposals out with TWM Architecture, the same firm, Travis Miller, that prepared the plans for Kiwanis, the rehab a couple years ago. He's doing the same thing for the upcoming Lum Park shower building. So you'll see that at probably the next park board meeting. And then just note that we're still trying to build ice right now with the cold weather, but this is the time of year where it becomes very touch and go if we can have ice. So we'll keep posting stuff on Facebook when things are available, but we're running out of the season at this point. So
Any questions for Jesse or Lisa about?
Did we solve the ice rink problem? I mean, they were talking about, issues with ice before the temperatures increased, the 40 degrees. So, I mean, have we solved that yet? Do we find a fix?
specifically at Memorial,
Yes. Yeah.
it's likely a shelter or cover is the only way to prevent that sun from beating on that north end as much as it does. Staff is working on putting together what that might look like from a number standpoint, just to get something in front of the park board to chew on. But we're still working on that process.
Okay.
Awesome. Anything else for staff? All right. And just say that was 10A, or was that A through D for you? I don't know
If there's questions from the park board on any of the staff report items, feel free to ask.
Okay, cool. Without any other questions, move to board member reports.
Yeah, nothing for me this month.
Anything for you?
No.
Nothing for me.
If we could have the maintenance staff check out some of the parks, there's a lot of trees that are down after, they're not trees, but branches that are down. Gregory Park especially. I think Rotary had some tree trimming going on, so I'm assuming that'll be taken care of, but just buzz through the parks now that there's not much snow.
I do have one item. And Jesse, what's the Hitchwain one that's on there that you've got under D?
We were just clarifying, there was the complaint about some no trespassing signs that were installed within the park. So just indicating not only where our park property is,
Yep.
but where those signs were. So I did indicate there where those two signs were installed. The one was removed because that's very clearly within the property. The one is very close to that corner. It's really an unusable area anyways, so we did not remove that sign, if that makes sense.
Sure. Okay. I just wanted to make sure we were clear on that. The other thing I do want to mention is that I did receive a email from Trent from BPU. We had previously here talked about, and then BPU had talked about the replacement of lights at Hitchwain. And so he sent me some costs on those. We can get them in a future meeting. Obviously, we're at the end of that season anyways, so it's not a rush. But he sent me some costs over, so I'll shoot them over to you guys. Initially, it was just, in my eyes, it was just replacement of some lights along the eastern side, but he did show some other options. Obviously, there's more cost with every option, and whether or not we feel that that's the appropriate thing to do or not. Do we want to light this up like a Christmas tree? Do we, what is the goal? I don't know, but I did want you guys to know that I did receive those from BPU, so that's been a long time in the motion, so it'll be nice to just kind of get that. And again, small improvements at this park is nice to see, so.
Andrew, I actually have something. Just a small comment. I actually, because we touched on this before, Tuesday, the day after President's Day, the garbages were overflowing again downtown. So like I said, I don't know. We had talked about that before, and again, whoever's in charge of that. I know it's a holiday weekend, it's one of those things. I'm sure they would have been changed out on Monday, but I can't, like Tuesday downtown again after the holiday, it was just overflowing with garbage again, so.
Look for a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Pose same sign. We are adjourned.
Perfect.
Go record 55 minutes.